Are you up to date with Halloween Horror Nights news and rumors? Stay tuned to hear us talk about the latest. Hey guys, welcome back. On this channel we talk about Halloween, Harry Potter, and theme parks. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
So earlier this week they actually opened up Scareactor auditions to external candidates. The only odd thing is I guess they're doing it virtually. And that just brings into question what the scare actors will be doing, like in the scare zones. You know, you're hearing different rumors about maybe people will be on stages or whatever. So it's just sort of, if you can't hold auditions in person, you know, what's the event actually going to be like at that point? But it's still good news, I think. It means that they're bringing in more and more individuals, because we, as we all know, the event is generally pretty scare actor heavy. So it's exciting to see that maybe the event will be a little more normal than what we are anticipating, I guess.
Right, I think there was a rumor earlier that they were like significantly going to scale back the number of scare actors. So
that could still be possible, I guess. Yeah, it could just be that they didn't get as many as they were hoping for internally, I guess.
Right, but it does kind of give you the hope that maybe they're still thinking about populating it as much as they can.
Yeah.
The news that I think everyone is the most excited about from this week.
Maybe not everybody, but we're definitely most excited about it.
Universal announced that they are still going to have Scareactor Dining.
Yeah, that was kind of a shocker. We had almost it was almost, I guess we had just taken it for a certainty that they weren't going to have Scareactor Dining this year.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you see it on the website and you see people talking about it on Twitter and everything. And it's just...
Right. They actually have tickets for sale. So you can buy the tickets.
Yeah.
They're 100% planning on having it. So that's really, really exciting.
It's a fun event. It also sort of contradicts one of the previous rumors that people had been talking about a lot. And that's the fact that a lot of people assumed this year, or had heard that this year was going to be a dry event. Mm-hmm. At the Scareactor Dining, they actually serve alcohol, so that might be a way to
get alcohol.
To increase sales is to actually have, you can do the Scareactor Dining and be able to purchase alcohol.
Yeah, that would be a big kind of drive to get them some more revenue.
But it might. I mean, it sort of makes you wonder whether the alcohol thing was in fact true or not. I mean, we haven't heard anything official.
No, it kind of makes sense that people had assumed that alcohol might be cut from the event because, if people have too much and get drunk, they're definitely not going to follow social distancing protocols.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it just might be a little bit harder to deal with guests. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scareactor Dining, like we talked about before, awesome experience. Mm-hmm. If you've never done it, highly suggested. It might even be a little bit different this year. I'm not really sure how they would do it this year. All these things being different isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this stuff, and it could improve the event going forward.
It kind of gives them the freedom to try some things that they otherwise wouldn't try.
Absolutely, we may see a lot of things that we actually think improve the event. So, like I said, it's nice to see that we're going to get something that resembles, or it sounds like we are getting something that resembles
what we're used
Halloween Horror Nights of the past. So some of the not so positive things that have been coming out this week, I guess it's mainly just one, and that's that the event in Hollywood might be in jeopardy. What do you think about some of the things that we've been seeing online?
So pretty much where this rumor is coming from is some drone footage that people have taken. So people are comparing images of one of the houses from like last week to a couple days ago, and it looks as though they might be tearing down the facade of that particular house. Yeah,
and with everything that's going on, we just don't know. I would hate for Hollywood to not get their event. Mm-hmm. But I think there's mixed feelings everywhere. A lot of people want, because this is such an iconic year, with the 30 year, the anniversary year, I think a lot of people want it to be done right. I think there's going to be questions on whether, even if it happens in Orlando, whether we get the event that they had originally intended.
Right.
I think those thoughts are always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We will never know whether we got that event or not. But I really feel sorry for the people in Hollywood if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for the scare actors. I feel sorry for the residents and the people who travel
Right.
out there. Halloween Horror Nights is just, it's a part of people's lives. It's a part of,
Mm-hmm.
it's a part of our lives, and it's a part of, it's Halloween.
Right.
It's what makes...
Especially when you get older, when you're little, Halloween's like trick-or-treating and dressing up. But at this age, that's what you have to do. And so if it's canceled for Hollywood, all those people that's how they celebrate, it's gone for them.
Yeah, and with, like we said, with everything that's going on right now, there's not a lot of Halloween events that are carrying forward this year.
Right, yeah,
So,
a lot of stuff's been canceled.
Halloween Horror Nights almost seemed like, because they have the resources and everything,
deal with it.
they could deal with some of the issues that we're having right now. I don't think it's concrete. It's like everything else.
Right.
It could change tomorrow. But from the pictures, I know some people I've seen different perspectives on it, and some people are saying that they don't think that's what's happening. In my opinion, and it doesn't mean much, but in my opinion, it doesn't look good. I hope for the people who want it to happen out there's sake that it happens. But at the same time, I understand people don't want an event that's
not up to par.
Yeah, that's not the event that Halloween Horror Nights deserves, and that the fans of Halloween Horror Nights deserve. So,
Right.
And what does that do if they cancel the event?
One and not the other?
Yeah, with all the IPs and all these licensings that they have to buy.
Right. Well, because I had seen some people say oh, we just need to cancel it and get HHN 30 the way it's supposed to be next year when things are back to normal. Well, if they cancel Hollywood and they don't cancel, the one in Orlando, what do they do?
It's almost like, what kind of event do you get in Hollywood next year? Does Orlando carry forward and say, this is all speculative, saying that Orlando has their event, Hollywood doesn't. Do you get the event that you were supposed to have this year in Hollywood next year, and then Orlando has a totally different event
with different IPs and stuff?
I don't really understand how that would work. Or do the people in Hollywood just not get the event this year that's going on in Orlando?
Just skips them.
Just skips them, and then they meet up. I just don't really know how
Me
to.
neither.
I don't know what they would do. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see at this point. It's just not one of those rumors that we wanted to hear, I don't think.
No, fingers crossed for Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else that's going on Twitter again is that the Halloween Horror Nights Orlando account is actually responding to old tweets again, asking them if they don't, if they care if they use the tweets for whatever they're going to use them to do. But it's funny that the account's staying active, and it's responding to old tweets and things like that. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it's nice to see. That's promising that they're still...
They're busy.
We actually had been hearing rumors that the tribute store, people have been talking about the tribute store that's at Halloween Horror Nights was going to open up early this year. We weren't really sure, but actually today, I think it was today, they released a bunch of merchandise for Halloween Horror Nights for online. You can purchase it online. I think
the website crashed.
I think the Halloween Horror Nights fans crashed the website.
They did. I tried to get on earlier.
Of course, but it looks pretty good. I like the 90s style lettering that they've done.
Right, it's real retro.
Yeah, I think that's big right now. It's what the last couple of events have been, but the shirts are really neat. I like a lot of the shirts. They have found a way to get my wallet once again. And
never fell.
And I'm going to allow them to do so.
Same.
So this merchandise doesn't have anything to do with the event directly. There's none of the the houses leaked in any of the
Right.
merchandise. This is just like the anniversary type stuff. It's almost like, and they've got some retro stuff from past events.
Right.
That, so.
Some more news that's come from the Universal Parks in the last week or so is the sign outside of the Fear Factor Stadium. So they have set up a sign like right outside the Fear Factor Stadium that says that they're doing, work or construction for a Halloween Horror Nights show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's another one of those things, sort of like the external scare actors. I think and the Scareactor Dining, I think we just assumed those weren't going to exist this year.
Right, because it's so hard to, social distance.
Yeah, that's a big area, and most of the time they just pack you in there. Like, it's like
sardines.
I don't care if you don't want to sit by that person. You're sitting by that person.
Yeah,
and
shoulders touching.
Yeah, and so, but what's exciting is, what is the event?
Right. I think a lot of people are kind of assuming that it's going to be Academy of Villains.
I've heard that, but I think a lot of people are thinking we might get a Bill and Ted show, which would be awesome. Yeah, because it's almost like that's gotten squashed a couple of times.
Right.
You're just like, you keep hearing, anniversary year, we're getting Bill and Ted's again, and then something would come out and just dagger.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of, that would be awesome to see.
We're hopeful.
Yeah, we're hopeful. But it is nice that we're going to get some sort of show.
Yeah.
Now, that makes me feel like that we're obviously going to get, the Academy of Villains or Bill and Ted or I guess it could be something new this year. But also it makes me feel pretty confident that we're going to get a Lagoon show.
Right.
Like last week we saw the videos of the guy recording, and he saw them practicing, or they were running the show from last year, the Marathon of Mayhem.
Yeah, it makes it seem like they're gonna have both shows.
Yeah, between the fact that they are going to have a show in the Fear Factor Stadium, and that they've been practicing the old Marathon or testing the system or whatever, it makes me feel pretty confident that we'll get both those things.
Right. Well, so if they can work out the logistics for the show in the Fear Factor Stadium, then there's no reason that they couldn't work it out for the Lagoon show.
I mean, the Lagoon show's open air.
Right. It's not nearly as close seating.
I think there's less good spots for the Lagoon show.
Yeah, I agree.
Than there are in the
stadium.
In the stadium, there's not really a bad seat in the stadium. It doesn't seem like. But with limited capacity, I think that's something people got to keep in mind. With limited capacity, I think
it might be easier.
Yeah, you can do a lot. You can do a lot more, especially if they're running
more
3 or 4 shows a night. I think you can get everybody in there with such a small event that we might be looking at this year. The thing that we are still waiting on is we want some kind of announcement about a frequent Fear Pass, or we're not even sure that they're going to do Express this year now at this point.
That's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that.
I think there's been some rumors that Express might not exist this year. But once again, yeah, I mean that would kind of suck.
Express is so good.
But once again, with such a limited capacity,
it may not matter.
It may not be necessary.
I kind of don't think they're going to drop the Express.
I don't either.
I don't know about the frequent Fear Pass, but I do know that the day that they stop selling the buy one get one tickets is July 22nd.
Yeah.
So I would not expect an announcement until after that date.
I wish they would give us something before then, because it sort of puts people in a bind, especially people like us who are traveling down. We've got a 2 to 3 trips down for Halloween Horror Nights planned, so we would generally just buy the frequent Fear Pass with Express and go as many nights as we can.
Right.
If they are to
cut that,
I don't know what we'll do.
Well, especially if they cut it and we miss out on the buy one get one.
So with all that in mind, what do you think, I guess, about ticket prices?
Right. So they're having to cut the number of people that they can have in the event
Yeah.
to deal with crowd levels. So I can't imagine that the prices would be the same as last year. They have to be
They're
higher.
never going to be the same as last year.
Right. I think you're going to see a decent jump, though.
But more than what you typically see?
I do think so, yeah.
Just because of limited capacity and stuff?
Limited capacity, and they were closed for so long. I think, if this event is able to happen, that they're going to try to use it to make up some of those expenses that they've lost.
I tend to agree. On top of the normal increase that
Right.
you see year over year, I think it's very likely that we see sort of a gotcha tax type thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
I wonder what they're going to do with capacity.
I don't know. I think that's really...
With the hold up with the frequent fare pass.
Right,
everything.
that's my fear because, I mean, what do? Do you do a reservation system? Like, do you just not guarantee people access? I don't know.
This is a big event for the locals.
Right.
You can't just think about people who travel, as much as, we want, the resort to be guaranteed, people who are staying on property to be guaranteed access. There's a lot of locals who want to be guaranteed access every night.
Right. Yeah, especially if you pay for the frequent fare.
Yeah, I just don't know what they're going to do necessarily.
Another thing is, if you've seen pictures of people in the parks right now, there's like nobody there.
Yeah, the attendance is pretty low.
And so I wonder what the attendance is going to be like at Halloween Horror Nights. Are people going to be afraid to come? And is that really even going to be that big?
It is a scary event. I don't think that's the scare everybody wants. So.
No, I don't.
That's a little bit. So. That's a little bit intense.
Yeah, but so I don't know. We're really hopeful for the frequent fare pass, but skeptical at the same time. All right, guys, I think that about wraps it up for tonight. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, give us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button and
it's there. I don't know.
Turn on that bell notification button so that you get an alert every time we post a new video. Thanks for watching.